Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 20 and counting, and as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country, in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. All right, and joining me today is a special guest and a friend of mine, a friend to the show, Attorney Jim Makowski. Jim, welcome back to the Home Defense Show.
Thanks for having me on, Skip.
Well, hey, thanks for being here. We had you on a couple of months ago, where we talked about, marijuana and CPL and the changes in the law and things like that. But I got to thinking, we should also cover alcohol and guns and alcohol and CPL and CCW and all of that stuff. But before we launch into the guts of that, tell people a little bit about your practice, what you do and how they can get a hold of you.
Well, I have been practicing law for the past 25 years. My office is located in Livonia, Michigan. I practice Second Amendment law throughout the state. I go everywhere, including up to the Upper Peninsula, for self-defense cases, or if a firearm is used in a self-defense incident.
Awesome. And I've heard nothing but good things from you and the work that you do. So I highly recommend, Jim, if anyone out there needs some legal defense. All right, Jim, what would you tell people about drinking and CPLs, carrying, while armed, just give us what should people know about it?
To cut right to the chase, if you're drinking, you're not carrying. If you're carrying, you're not drinking. Michigan legal limit for drunk driving is a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or above. If you're carrying a concealed weapon, legal limit of alcohol that can be in your bloodstream is 0.02, which is basically less than one drink. And a nuance of that is you can open carry up to 0.08. Theoretically, I think it's a foolish thing to do, but you can do it.
Yeah.
People like that we refer to as clients. I mean, theoretically, you can open carry up to 0.08. I still feel it's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
And just as with operating a motor vehicle, when you're carrying a firearm under the auspices of a concealed pistol license, you are giving implied consent to a intoxilizer. It used to be breathalyzer. Now they use a device called an intoxilizer, or to a chemical breath test, blood draw.
Well, 0.02, that's doesn't sound like a whole lot. It's like, hey, put on some hand sanitizer and you might be over the limit.
It's intentionally very, very low. And that's an amount of alcohol that would not really register to most people. They wouldn't even feel it. But that's what the way the law is written. I do have a case I have been defending that I was able to get dismissed. It was alleged that my client had a 0.04 blood alcohol level, but they lacked probable cause to administer the test, so we got the case dismissed.
Okay.
The police can't just randomly go up to you and say, hey, I think you've been drinking. They have to have a reasonable articulable suspicion that you have been drinking. So, those field sobriety tests that they give people roadside, touch your nose, recite the alphabet backwards, et cetera, et cetera. They still have to ask you to perform those and recite a reason why they gave you a further test. And
Well,
by the way, never comply with those roadside sobriety tests.
yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know that doing the alphabet backwards. I can't do that sober. How do people do it drunk?
So all of those field sobriety tests are, to put it very bluntly, they're sucker bets.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
They are designed to make you fail. I have never read one police report where an officer didn't detect the strong odor of intoxicants coming from somebody. Every police report that has alcohol involved in it, they claim the person has a strong odor of intoxicants. It's rote. Okay. I've got another word for it, but this is a family show, Skip.
Okay. Well, that my next question was, listen, I know that police are the good guys, but do they ever lie about things or exaggerate the truth, anything like that?
Oh, Skip. So police are the good guys until they're not.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Kind of like you and I.
I am very pro law enforcement. I always have been,
Yeah.
which is sometimes a difficult position for a defense attorney.
Hmm.
That being said, when it comes to things like this, they lie like rugs.
Mm.
If you read enough of these police reports, it just smells. It's every single report. Police are taught how to write these reports. They use the same language, and a lot of the times it's flat out impossible what they're claiming,
Hmm.
yet they claim it.
Yeah, I remember, boy, it must have been about 15 years ago. I was on a jury and I was the foreman of the jury. And it was a case where, a man had been arrested and charged with it was like I don't know, drunk and disorderly or something like that. But the officer cited um, his probable cause based on uh, following the man through a trail of empty beer cans. And I I thought, how do you do that? I mean, I track wounded deer, but that's different. But I didn't buy that, and as the jury foreman, I asked more questions, and from the judge and all of that, and I don't know if the guy was innocent or if he was guilty, but he got off because we just I'm sorry, we just don't buy that there was a trail of beer cans that you followed uh, to this man. And but anyways, just for the record, I'm pro law enforcement as well, but just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're good at your job. Can we agree on that?
Police have a tough job. They're not perfect, just like anybody else, but politics of the situation have them sometimes stretching truth, sometimes radically stretching the truth.
Ah, all right. Okay, well, Jim, I've been thinking about this because I knew we were going to be talking about this, and there are some things that just aren't clear to me. So I have some specific questions. What is the difference between DUI and DWI, or are they the same?
So it's a different level. It's actually OUIL in Michigan, OWI,
Okay.
operating while intoxicated or operating under the influence. Under the influence in under Michigan law is operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 to 0.10. 0.10 and above is operating while intoxicated.
Ah, okay. All right. Um, well, but they both affect your ability to get a CPL, do they not?
Correct. 3 year CPL disqualifier for either charge.
Oh, okay. Only 3 years? I was always under the impression it was. Well, are there any other levels?
Sure. Second offense is a an 8 year CPL disqualifier, and third offense is a felony, and you lose your gun rights forever.
All right. Are there like specific cases? that you have defended that are interesting or
Michigan has some of the toughest drunk driving laws, and it is extremely difficult to challenge a drunk driving arrest in Michigan. I have beaten one or two, but most of the time we're ending up pleading out. Um, the laws in other states are a lot less severe, and the burden of proof in other states seems to be such that you go down south, for example, you go down to South Carolina, and attorneys take drunk driving cases to trial all the time
hmm,
with a fairly good success rate. The laws are so skewed in Michigan in favor of law enforcement. I want to keep drunks off the road too. I don't want, my family to be endangered by someone who's drinking and driving, but I think a lot of the laws in Michigan with regard to this are just flat out absurd. Skip. I had a client, oh God, it's got to be 20 years ago now. She had been to a bar and it was winter, and she decided that she wasn't able to drive. So she did the responsible thing. She started her car to keep it warm. Then she got in the back seat of the car and took a nap to sober up.
okay.
Because the keys were in the ignition, the car was running. She was arrested and charged and convicted of drunk driving,
Wow.
of operating while impaired. It's not driving, it's operating while impaired or while operating while intoxicated. If your keys are in the ignition, you're operating the motor vehicle, even if you're not going anywhere, even if you're in a parking lot.
But doesn't the judge have some leeway to use common sense in something like that?
You would think so. So you would think so. I would, in a just world, that person would never be charged. Why? Because that person was doing the responsible thing.
Yeah.
Um, this might be an unpopular position, but I'm going to say it anyway. Mothers Against Drunk Driving have gotten too much power in the state of Michigan. They've skewed the law to this degree. I completely understand not drinking and driving, but when you're trying to do the responsible thing and you still get busted, I have a real problem with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would too. So it sounds like, if you want to drink and drive, you should move down south. There's better
I
environment.
mean, there's many reasons to flee the state of Michigan these days. We'll just leave it at
Okay.
that.
Well, that could be the topic for a different show, I suppose.
Indeed.
Well, okay, well that's about alcohol. But there are other things that can really affect your ability to drive. What are the laws on things like prescription drugs? Maybe you're on you had a surgery and you're on a painkiller or something like that. How is that affected?
You can still get charged because you are still responsible for being in control of yourself, of maintaining your sobriety. And I mean sobriety in this instance, your cognitive abilities. And if your cognitive abilities are decreased from the consumption of a prescription medication, a painkiller that you just had surgery, you have to take a painkiller. If that's affecting your ability to drive, you will absolutely get charged.
Hmm. Okay. So, does that carry over into carrying a gun? Let's say you're walking down the sidewalk, and you had some NyQuil, and you're feeling drowsy. Could you get in trouble for something like that while you're carrying under a CPL?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Wow.
yes. With NyQuil that has an alcoholic component. If you were carrying under the influence of prescription drugs, I don't know how they would charge you with that. That would be getting into a slippery slope, but it could absolutely happen. I could foresee something like that happening.
Well, I've been known to partake of NyQuil from time to time, and when I wake up in the morning, my wife will laugh at me. because I'll have this terrible NyQuil hangover until about 10 a.m. So that was a personal question that I asked. I want to know, hey, am I going to get in trouble for this? Because I'm just, even after a shower, it's like I'm super, super drowsy when I'm overcoming my NyQuil. But in general, if you're drinking, you shouldn't be driving and you shouldn't be carrying your gun. Is that fair
That
or
is absolutely fair.
okay?
The two are incompatible.
Yeah,
Um, and the other thing too is keep in mind the purpose of our carrying a firearm is to be able to defend ourselves should the need arise.
yeah.
If you are not of sound mind because of the consumption of alcohol, you are no longer carrying your firearm legally. Therefore, the Self Defense Act does not protect your actions.
Oh, okay. All right.
A little concern there that a little nuance here that we need to think about.
Yeah. Well, I know that in my experience, the people who lose their concealed pistol license, a great deal of the time, and I'm saying this judged, just based on the number of students, because I've taught over 20,000 people in Michigan alone how to carry concealed. When a student calls me and said, "Yeah, I took your class, I got my CPL, and it was just revoked," I almost always know what they're going to say next. It has to do with drinking. So there is not a lot of tolerance uh,
No,
for that.
there isn't. And the thing is, you're absolutely, there is not a lot of tolerance. Should there be a little more tolerance? Perhaps. It's a tough state for drinking. It really is. It's bad.
Hmm.
I'm not in favor of people going out and drinking and driving at all.
Well, all right, on a practical level, let's say you've had one drink, you're on your way home, and you've got your gun there in the console or the glove box or whatever. So you're legally carrying. You've had one drink. The police pull you over. You inform them, yeah, I'm a CPL holder and I'm carrying today. And they immediately ask, how many have you had to drink? And you tell them I've had a single drink. What is going to happen and what should the person say?
Well, I guess that is a question of how much nerve that person has.
Okay.
Because
And how much money they have for a lawyer too, or
I mean, my response is, I'm sorry, officer, I don't answer questions.
okay.
That's the right way to do it. Now, that is going against human nature.
Hmm.
Ever since we were 3 years old, we've tried to talk ourselves out of trouble.
Right.
We all have. When you're in an encounter with law enforcement, and I teach this in my classes, when you're in an encounter with law enforcement, you are never, ever going to be able to talk your way out of trouble. You talk your way out of trouble by not saying anything and to
Ah,
begin with. You're never going to be able to talk your way out of the trouble, so you don't say anything. So you very respectfully say, I'm sorry, I'm not answering questions. You get those field sobriety tests. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. All those field sobriety tests are doing, police are trying to develop probable cause to administer a chemical breath test. They're trying to come up with, or a blood draw. They're trying to come up with a reason to justify it. Why do I want to help them out?
okay. Is that why, it seems like, over the past, 50 years or so, whenever I've been pulled over, they come up to the vehicle and and I'm very polite and they're very polite too, but they'll always ask, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I mean, my thinking is I was kind of hoping you knew why you pulled me over.
Yeah,
Why do they ask that question?
they're trying to get you talking. They're trying to get you to do a quick admission. And that's exactly it. They're trying to get you talking. And I mean, I would say, nope, no, no, I don't. No idea.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, in the past, I've done it both ways. I've said no because sometimes I honestly don't know. But there have been times when I was like 7 miles an hour over the speed limit or something, and I said,
Sure.
yeah, yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was going too fast, and
I,
when that happens to my wife, they always let her off. With me, it's like, sir, can you step out of the vehicle? I don't know what
yeah,
it is.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess if you have nothing to hide in a situation like that, you might be able to talk yourself out of trouble. But as a general rule, you cannot count on being able to talk yourself out of trouble,
Yeah.
Skip. It's
Well,
just, you can't.
you're kind of at the mercy of the officer at that point. He's either a nice guy, he's reasonable, or he's a dick. Is that a pretty good
I
summation?
mean, your words, not mine, my
Well,
friend.
yeah. Well, listen, I know a lot of cops, and most of them are nice guys, but there's a few.
Oh, yeah, there are. And yeah, I mean, they've got a tough job, absolutely. In case anybody's listening, I can tell you where most of those the dicks are, and that's in the Michigan State Police, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Well, if I agree with you on the air, then I might get a ticket next week. So I'm going to plead the fifth on that one, Jim.
And I don't blame you. I call it like I see it at this point. I'm
Yeah.
too old and too crusty to care.
All right. That sounds good. Well, is there anything, are any questions that I should have asked that I didn't? Anything you want to add?
It shouldn't be as bad as it is in the state. It really shouldn't be with regard to the alcohol laws. But the bottom line is you're when you're carrying a concealed weapon, you've given implied consent to a breathalyzer test or an intoxilizer test or a blood draw. Don't carry a firearm. If you carry a firearm, number one, you're gonna and you get caught, you're gonna at the very least get your CPL suspended. If your blood alcohol level is, oh yeah, let's talk about that. If your blood alcohol is 0.02 to 0.08, it's a civil infraction, and your license is suspended for 6 months. If your blood alcohol level is 0.08 to 0.10, I believe it's a 3-year suspension. If it's above 0.10, it's a lifetime ban on a concealed pistol license.
Wow. That's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If you get a charge like that, you need to contact a competent lawyer who can handle it. It's a big deal. I've seen people lose their gun rights forever,
All
their
right.
concealed pistol rights forever.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Jim, one more time. Do you have a website or something where
I
people can go?
do, and it's being redone as we speak. www.makowskilegal.com. MAKOWSKI legal.com.
You remember a few years back, you got frustrated with me because I could not spell your last name.
I mean, you're forgiven, Skip.
Thank
You
you
are
so
forgiven.
much. Thank you so much. I've been pardoned. All right.
And I look forward to seeing you next week in Hastings.
Yes, next week at the Berry County Church Safety Summit in beautiful downtown Middleville. All right.
Take care, my friend.
All right, Jim. Thank you very much for being on the Home Defense Show today.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to check out our sponsors, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, and United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com. I've written 20 plus books and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my geopolitical thriller, We Hold These Truths. I think you'll like it. And also check out the Home Defense Show videos on rumble.com. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on The Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Attention business owners. Are you leaving your website open to security issues and hacking due to a lack of maintenance or overseas outsourcing? Don't let that happen to your business. Choose experienced U.S.-based website developers that can customize your website to fit your specific needs. Appletree MediaWorks has been growing businesses online since 2009. With over 80 years of combined experience, their team conducts constant research and development to keep up with ever-changing online threats. Your website deserves the best protection available. Call Appletree MediaWorks today at 877-977-1364 to keep your website secure and grow your business online. Or visit appletree.media.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.